I mean, that's for him to answer. I note that there has not been a challenge so far, despite all the threats and the press reports over recent months. But I think the huge majority of Conservative MPs and of Conservative Party members in the country want to see Theresa May continue to lead us in getting the right deal from the European Union that works for business in Britain and throughout Europe, and they want Theresa May and the government to focus on presenting a plausible, compelling alternative to Jeremy Corbyn's extreme socialist views. We've got to tackle housing, the National Health Service, schools, the things that when you talk to people on the doorstep, the British public are really concerned about.
Political speak. I noticed there hasn't been a challenge. That's David Lidington saying, oh, isn't that curious? He doesn't seem to have the numbers, doesn't he? But anyway, we'll watch this space as well. But in the meantime, I spoke to Lord Adair Turner. We'll get you a little bit of tape from that later on as well. But he was saying, look, the problem is the Prime Minister is wrapping herself in knots, trying to come up with something that looks like a customs union, that smells like a customs union, but isn't a customs union, because that was one of her red lines as well. Mr. Lidington said, look, we're 85% of the way there to getting a legal text. That sounds quite good, doesn't it? 85%, but the other 15%, including the Northern Ireland border issue, is a terribly sticky point as well. But I just put it to him, look, what happens if there is no deal, Mr. Lidington? Because Dominic Raab is putting out all these technical papers to the country now. Is that scaremongering? Well, the Europeans here were not happy about the Raab approach in some ways as well. But what happens? Do we get another vote? Does Parliament get a meaningful vote? Well, we'll hear what Mr. Lidington had to say now.
Well, the Parliament, in the legislation has laid out what will happen, that there will have to be a government statement within a defined number of days in those circumstances. But I think the government, is very determined we're going to get that deal. It's in the interest of British business and the British people, our economic and our security interests, that we have a good constructive partnership with our European neighbours, albeit no longer within the European Union. That's what we're out to do, and I remain confident that's what we'll get.
And we're not going to have a deal in principle in October, are we? The timeline slipped, hasn't it?
Well, I think we'd love to crack this at the October European Council, if that can be done. I mean, the Commission is now talking about perhaps a November meeting as the final one. We've got to have the agreement at government's level in time for both Westminster and the European Parliament to go through their processes, because both will have to approve the deal.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now, to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.